watch it? Do you and your family ever watch it? Or do you not watch yourself?
I make my children watch one of my films every evening and laugh at the jokes. If they don't get fed.
Decades after stealing hearts with his charming smirks and effortless wit, Hugh Grant remains the ultimate heartthrob. But why are women still thirsting over him? Is it his undeniable British charm, that mischievous twinkle in his eye, or the way he's mastered the art of playing both the lovable rogue and the refined gentleman? From Notting Hill to The Undoing, his allure hasn't faded, it's evolved. Stay tuned as we dive into the timeless magnetism of Hugh Grant and why he's still irresistible. Hugh Grant, the charming enigma of Hollywood. Over the course of his remarkable 40-year career, Hugh Grant has worn many hats, effortlessly transitioning from a dashing heartthrob to the undisputed king of romantic comedies, a master of dramatic depth, and, by his own admission, a bit of a grump. Whether he's playing the endearingly awkward yet irresistible love interest or stepping into a more shadowy, complex role, Grant has remained a Hollywood favorite, enchanting audiences across generations with his unique blend of charm, wit, and undeniable talent. But while the world continues to adore him on screen, those who have met him in person often tell a very different and far more amusing story. Unlike the smooth, charming characters he so often portrays, Grant is known for his unpredictability, sometimes warm and engaging, other times humorously cantankerous. This contrast between his public persona and real-life demeanor only adds to his intrigue, making him one of the most fascinating figures in the entertainment industry. Is he the effortlessly charming leading man, or is he the endearingly irritable cynic? Perhaps he is both, and that's precisely what makes him so captivating. One thing is certain, whether through his unforgettable performances or his delightfully unpredictable personality, Hugh Grant remains a true icon, impossible to ignore and endlessly entertaining. Before delving into the details of how some women thirst for Hugh Grant, let's take a quick dive into his early life. The fascinating early life of Hugh Grant. Born on September 9, 1960, at Hammersmith Hospital, Hugh John Mungo Grant was the second son of Finvala Susan MacLean and Captain James Murray Grant. His lineage is steeped in history, with ancestors who were warriors, aristocrats, and empire builders. Genealogist Anthony Adolph even described his family background as a colorful Anglo-Scottish tapestry. Among his notable ancestors are explorer Sir Walter Raleigh, William Drummond, 4th Viscount Strathallan, and a sister of former Prime Minister Spencer Perceval. His father, a former officer in the Seaforth Highlanders, later ventured into business and painting, exhibiting his artwork in a charity event organized by Hugh himself. His mother, a dedicated schoolteacher, taught Latin, French, and music for over 30 years before passing away from pancreatic cancer in 2001. Grant credits her with any acting talent he inherited. Despite their military ties, the Grants weren't always wealthy, and Hugh spent summers in Scotland fishing and hunting with his grandfather. Educated at prestigious institutions, Hugh attended Hogarth Primary, Wetherby School, and Latimer Upper, where he excelled in sports and even represented his school on the quiz show Top of the Form. At Oxford, he studied English literature on a scholarship and pursued acting as a hobby, starring in Privileged, his first film in 1982. Though he considered academia, financial constraints led him to choose acting, a decision that would define his future. What kind of experience does Hugh Grant have with ladies that keep them thirsting for him? Let's delve into the details of his experience with one of his former flames. A difficult first impression? Actress Elizabeth Hurley, one of Hugh Grant's most famous former flames, has never been one to hold back when discussing their long history together. Their romance spanned an impressive 13 years, longer than many Hollywood marriages, and even though they parted ways, their bond has remained unshakable. But what is Grant really like when the cameras aren't rolling? Hurley doesn't sugarcoat it. "Every time I've met Hugh, he's been grumpy," she revealed with a laugh. "He's like, yeah, whatever, rock star, off you go." And then, just when you least expect it, he starts flirting with your other half. That one statement perfectly captures the actor's unpredictable charm. One moment, he's aloof and disinterested, the picture of British sarcasm. The next, he's flashing that signature smile and effortlessly winning over everyone in the room, regardless of whether they're single or spoken for. Yet beyond his offbeat personality, there's no denying Hugh Grant's lasting impact on cinema. From his early days as the quintessential romantic lead to his evolution into a more complex and seasoned actor, his career has been nothing short of remarkable. While his dashing, bumbling charm will always be his trademark, stories like Hurley's remind us that the real Hugh Grant is far more intriguing than any character he's ever played on screen. However, Hugh doesn't seem to blow himself out of proportion. He rather maintains a humble outlook. Let's take a look at one of the comments that shows his unexpected modesty. Hugh Grant's unexpected modesty. Despite decades of success in Hollywood, Hugh Grant remains remarkably modest about his own abilities. He's known for his self-deprecating humor, often shrugging off praise and making light of his talent with his signature dry wit. Compliments about his acting, he waves them away. Admiration for his undeniable charm, he brushes it off as sheer luck. But when it comes to other, more personal aspects of his life, the story takes an interesting turn. Take, for instance, Elizabeth Hurley's unexpected revelation. When asked to rate Grant's performance in a more intimate setting, specifically his skills in the bedroom, she didn't hesitate for a second. With a mischievous grin, she confidently declared, "On a scale of 1 to 10? Oh, really? 10.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good was Hugh Grant in the sack?
Oh, really? 10?
The audience was left stunned, their curiosity piqued. Could it be that the ever-humble Grant has been downplaying more than just his acting talent? While he may insist that he's nothing special, Hurley's glowing endorsement suggests otherwise. Whether on screen or off, Grant clearly has a way of leaving a lasting impression, one that, if Hurley's words are to be believed, extends far beyond his cinematic roles. Perhaps his greatest talent isn't just acting, but keeping people guessing. Let's take a look at another intriguing moment that had everyone talking. Let's find out what happened at the Oprah Winfrey Show. The Oprah moment that had everyone talking. Hugh Grant has always had a natural talent for captivating audiences, his charm effortlessly drawing people in. Yet his humor, sharp, unexpected, and delightfully dry, often takes people by surprise. One unforgettable example of this came during his appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show, where he spoke about his Bridget Jones's Diary co-star, Renee Zellweger. With his signature smirk and mischievous glint in his eye, he leaned in slightly before delivering a remark that no one saw coming. "Renee? Oh, she's mentally unstable. Not quite there, but nearly." The audience burst into laughter, caught off guard by the bold yet playful comment. Zellweger, known for her grace and quick wit, took it in stride, proving just how well the two co-stars understood each other. Instead of being taken as an insult, the remark only reinforced their undeniable chemistry, both on screen and off. This moment was classic Grant, effortlessly cool, impossibly witty, and always in control of the room. It was yet another reminder that his humor isn't just about making jokes, it's an art, delivered with impeccable timing, and a twinkle of mischief that keeps everyone hanging on his every word. Have women been thirsting over Grant from the beginning of his career? Did he seem to extend the on-screen romance to real life? A rocky start with Sandra Bullock. Hugh Grant has built a career on his effortless charm and undeniable chemistry with some of Hollywood's most adored leading ladies. But as we all know, Just because sparks fly on screen doesn't mean things are quite as smooth behind the scenes. Take Sandra Bullock, for instance. Their dynamic in 2 Weeks' Notice was pure magic, filled with witty exchanges and irresistible tension. But their first real-life encounter? Let's just say it was far from love at first sight. "Hugh didn't exactly make the best first impression," Bullock once admitted. "It was so bad, I didn't speak to him for 3 years." For a man whose charisma seems almost second nature, it's hard to imagine him leaving such a sour taste. But clearly, time and perhaps a little humor can mend anything. Over the years, the two forged a genuine friendship, one that mirrors their signature banter on screen. And if you need proof, look no further than their hilarious back and forth during an interview. "My theory?" Grant quipped. "Sandy is madly in love with me. But for me, it's just a sex thing." Without missing a beat, Bullock rolled her eyes. "I'm just not into you, Hugh." Classic Hugh. Witty, self-deprecating, and always ready with a playful jab. Having women thirst on him would sometimes leave him with those he doesn't admire. How does he turn them down? Let's take a look at how he says no. The Hugh Grant way of saying no. Not everyone can pull off being blunt without sounding rude, but Hugh Grant has a rare gift. He transforms even the most dismissive remarks into comedic gold. His signature dry humor and impeccable timing make his quips not just funny, but downright charming. A perfect example of this came when British comedian and TV host Alan Carr playfully suggested they team up for a sitcom. Before Carr could even finish his sentence, Grant delivered his response with a deadpan expression and impeccable precision. No. The abruptness of his reply could have been awkward or even harsh in someone else's hands. But with Grant, it was pure comedic genius. The audience erupted with laughter, and Carr, quick on his feet, played along, reveling in the moment. What makes Grant's humor so effective is that it never feels forced. His delivery is effortless. His bluntness refreshingly unapologetic. He has a way of saying the simplest things in a way that catches people off guard and leaves them in stitches. Whether it's an interview, an awards show, or a red carpet event, Grant's natural wit ensures he remains as entertaining off-screen as he is on it. With his reputation high in Hollywood, what does Hugh Grant think of himself? Let's take a look at how special he sees himself. Does Hugh Grant forget? He's Hugh Grant? At 64, Hugh Grant has built the kind of career most actors can only dream of. Hollywood stardom, critical acclaim, and a lasting legacy that spans decades. From charming romantic leads to compelling character roles, he has navigated the highs and lows of fame with undeniable talent and wit. Yet despite his success, Grant remains refreshingly unimpressed by his own achievements. In a candid interview, he was asked if he ever takes a moment to appreciate the extraordinary life he has built. "Do you ever wake up and think, 'Wow, I'm Hugh Grant?'" His response? A casual shrug, as if the thought had never crossed his mind. The interviewer pressed on, suggesting a common self-improvement habit. "Do you keep a gratitude journal?" Grant's reaction was as perfectly dry and delightfully grumpy as his on-screen persona. "Don't be absurd," he scoffed, with the signature wit that has made him so beloved. His reluctance to bask in his own glory is exactly what makes him so intriguing. In a world where celebrities often chase validation, Grant remains effortlessly cool, someone who doesn't take himself too seriously, even after decades in the spotlight. And perhaps that's his secret to staying timeless. To Hugh Grant, what does it mean to be a parent? Let's dig into the details of Grant's parenting style. Parenting the Hugh Grant way. Hugh Grant may be known for his signature charm, sharp wit, and a touch of cynicism. But beneath the humor lies a devoted father who treasures family above all else. Despite his flourishing career, it's not the box office numbers or red carpet moments that bring him the most joy. It's his 5 children who remain his greatest source of pride. That said, Grant's approach to fatherhood is anything but ordinary. His parenting style comes with a playful twist, as he humorously revealed in an interview. "I make my children watch one of my films every evening," he said with a mischievous grin. "And they have to laugh at the jokes. If they don't, they get nothing." Whether he was being entirely serious or simply delivering another dose of his signature dry humor is up for debate. But the image of his children dutifully sitting through 4 weddings and a funeral or Notting Hill, nervously giggling at every punchline, is certainly entertaining to imagine. One thing's for sure, growing up with Hugh Grant as a father must be an experience filled with wit, charm, and perhaps just a little bit of comedic pressure. Hugh Grant is known for his quick wit and effortlessly charming comebacks. But even the most eloquent stars can find themselves at a loss for words. Let's find out if he's had speechless moments. Even Hugh Grant has his speechless moments. In a rare and humbling moment, Grant admitted that one person managed to leave him completely speechless: the legendary Meryl Streep. During an interview, the seasoned actor confessed that working alongside Streep was an experience unlike any other. Despite his decades in the industry, sharing the screen with such an icon threw him off balance in a way he never expected. "The first day I worked with her, I forgot my lines," Grant revealed, still sounding slightly in awe. "That never happens to me. But it was Meryl. What was I supposed to do?" For an actor as experienced as Grant, flubbing lines is practically unheard of. Yet in Streep's presence, even he found himself momentarily overwhelmed. It was a rare glimpse behind the polished exterior, a moment of genuine admiration and vulnerability that reminded us that no matter how seasoned or celebrated, even the biggest stars can still be starstruck. And honestly, who wouldn't be? After all, it's Meryl Streep. Hugh Grant has succeeded in making a name in the film industry. However, who is Hugh Grant beyond the screens? Let's find out. The enigma that is Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant has spent decades winning over audiences with his signature roles: charming, slightly awkward, and irresistibly witty. But beyond the screen, the man himself is an even more intriguing puzzle. He is a walking contradiction. Grumpy yet endearing. Self-deprecating yet undeniably magnetic. What makes him so fascinating isn't just his ability to deliver a perfectly timed stammer or a sheepish grin. It's the way he carries that same unpredictable charm into real life. One moment, he's making hilariously dry remarks about his co-stars. The next, he's poking fun at himself in a way that makes you admire him even more. His interviews are legendary, not for rehearsed anecdotes, but for his unfiltered honesty, sharp wit, and occasional mischief that leaves journalists either in stitches or completely stunned. And let's not forget his famous jabs at former flames, his wry observations about Hollywood, and his ability to turn grumpiness into a form of entertainment. Unlike many stars who carefully craft their public image, Hugh Grant remains refreshingly, sometimes brutally, himself. One thing is certain: whether he's on screen, on stage, or simply being his delightfully unpredictable self, Hugh Grant isn't just a movie star. He's a phenomenon all his own. What do you think about Hugh Grant and his enigmatic charm? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.